So another issue I've worked on for the last 5, 6, 7 years now, and this has been like in some moments it becomes more present in the public consciousness, but it's been a bit under the radar. Bernie talked about it a lot during his campaign.
Yes.
In the context of our continued support for Saudi Arabia's civil war in Yemen, for instance, for one side of the civil war in Yemen, is elevating Congress's authority over deciding when we go to war, which is Congress's constitutional authority. It's like an Article 1 authority, like the article of the Constitution that creates Congress says that they shall decide when we're going to go to war or not. And over the course of the Vietnam era, a mechanism called the War Powers Resolution was developed to try to give Congress more ability to assert when the president was engaging in war making that it had not authorized. And it's a tool that's been underused over the course of the ensuing decades, but we were able to, on the backs of a handful of really brilliant staffers, and as part of a coalition that included, again, progressives and traditional Democrats, and we would not have passed the War Powers resolutions that we passed, but for the participation of 15 or so Republicans in the House side, for instance,
right,
under Republican leadership. We've been able to revive the notion that Congress does fundamentally have authority over war making, and have been able to a degree, constrain war making using this tool. So there were certain things that the Trump administration was doing, gets really detailed, but pretty quickly, like supporting the Saudi Air Force on bombing runs,
right,
refueling them during bombing runs. And we were able to make it clear that that counts as participation in hostilities, and as far as we can tell, that's a thing we're no longer doing.
Oh.
We're still doing some other stuff that's not great, but we've been able to do something to create some breathing room and also create context for a ceasefire in Yemen, which seems to be going okay right now. There's about to be another War Powers resolution push to try to finally end some of our continued participation there, and I'm hoping it'll be successful, but the work we've done to date has already made a difference.
So as far as war spending goes, or Pentagon spending, however we look at it, even under Trump, Democrats gave him more money than he asked for in his budget.
Yeah, right? And they gave Biden more than he asked for.
And exactly, we've been doing this, and this is with the full support of all four of our present Congress or congressional delegation. So how do we push back against that, even hold it? How do we even stop increasing it and just hold it to where it is? Never mind decreasing it or anything else.
Yeah, I don't want to say that it's going to be easy to win. I mean, the Progressive Caucus has usually put forth an amendment to reduce spending by, I think usually it's a 10% reduction, right, for instance, and I would support those amendments. They've not been victorious, unfortunately, right, but I would be part of the grouping behind those measures, right. And I think we need to continue to draw attention to how when we put productive resources into war making, it means we're not as able to put productive resources into taking care of other needs here, or even benevolent needs that might buttress diplomacy abroad.